In 1936, a box of Isaac Newton's private papers went up for auction at Sotheby's. Buried inside were his notebooks, and they revealed something historians had spent centuries not talking about. Newton, the man who gave us gravity and calculus, had spent over 3 decades secretly trying to turn lead into gold. He wrote more than 1 million words on it, in his own hand. And almost nobody knew until 200 years after his death. This isn't a story about magic. It's a true story about the smartest man in the world, a practice that was punishable by death, and how a doomed quest for gold accidentally built the foundations of modern chemistry. 0040. Here's a fact most people never learn. In England, alchemy was illegal. Not frowned upon illegal, under a 1404 law called the Act Against Multipliers, and the penalty could be death. Why would a government criminalize turning lead into gold? Simple economics. If anyone could manufacture gold, they could manufacture money. The crown wasn't afraid of magic. It was afraid of counterfeiting collapsing the entire currency system. That ban stayed on the books for nearly 300 years, until it was finally lifted in 1689, thanks in part to lobbying from the chemist Robert Boyle, who was himself a devoted alchemist. This is why so many alchemists wrote in code. It wasn't just about protecting trade secrets from rivals. In England, writing plainly about your work could get you executed. 2 o'clock, Isaac Newton is remembered for one book, the Principia, which laid out the laws of motion and universal gravitation. But by some counts, Newton wrote more total words on alchemy than on physics and mathematics combined. He kept 169 books on alchemy in his personal library. At the time, one of the finest alchemical collections in the world. Every autumn and spring for decades, he shut himself in his lab for 6-week stretches to run alchemical experiments, often working straight through the winter, too, when the cold made his lab nearly unbearable. And he wasn't secretive by accident. In a 1676 letter to the Royal Society's secretary, Newton begged that details of a key alchemical ingredient be kept under, quote, high silence. He was genuinely afraid of what would happen if this knowledge got out to the wrong people. Historians now believe Newton's obsession with alchemy wasn't a side hobby that embarrasses his legacy. It may have directly shaped his real science. His breakthrough that white light is made of separate colors is now linked by historians to techniques he learned from alchemical chemistry. 0320. In 2016, a manuscript surfaced that had been sitting in a private collection for decades. It was a recipe, handwritten by Newton, copied from an earlier alchemist named George Starkey, who published his work under the pen name Irenaeus Philalethes. The recipe called for combining a fiery dragon, some doves of Diana, and at least 7 eagles of Mercury. It sounds like fantasy. It wasn't. Historians who've decoded it say it's a real distillation procedure, mercury repeatedly distilled and heated with gold, producing a strange, branch-like metallic growth.